All right, this other exercise is a little bit different from the exercises we have done in this section. I want you to code along with me like this. So let's declare a constant called movies. We set this to an array of objects. In this array, we're going to have 4 movie objects. In each movie, we're going to have 3 properties. Title, set the first one to A. And then the second property is year. We set this to 2018. And the third property is rating, which we set to 4.5. Now let's duplicate this a few times. So hold down Shift, Alt, and the down arrow. With this, we can easily duplicate the current line. Now change the title of each movie. So the second one is going to be B, and then C, and then D. Let's change the year of the last movie to 2017. And finally change the ratings to 4.7, 3, and 4.5. Now with this array of movies, your exercise is to write code to get all the movies in 2018 with rating greater than 4. I want you to sort them by their rating in a descending order. So movies that have a higher rating should come first. Then I want you to only pick their title property and display it on the console. So the result should be B and A. That is what you should see on the console. So go ahead, spend 5 minutes on this exercise, and you'll see my solution next. All right, so we want to filter movies by their year and rating. So movies dot filter. Here we pass an arrow function. So m, as in short for movie, goes to m.year should equal 2018, and m.rating should be greater than or equal to 4. So that's the first part, our filtering. Next, we want to sort them by the rating. So as you learned earlier, these methods are chainable because filter returns a new array, so we can immediately apply the sort method on that array. Now, as you learned earlier, this sort method by default only works for numbers and strings. For objects, we need to supply a comparison function. So here, once again, I'm going to use an arrow function that takes A and B. So these are 2 movie objects in our movies array. So A and B goes to. Now, basically, if A is less than B, we want to return -1 or a negative value. If they are equal, we want to return 0. And if A is greater than B, we want to return +1 or a positive value. A simple way to implement this is like this. So I'm going to delete all this and the curly braces. We simply get the rating of A and subtract it from the rating of B. So let's say the rating of A is 4.5 and the rating of B is 4. When we subtract A from B, we'll get 0.5. That's a positive number. So that means A is greater than B. Now, if both these ratings are equal, we'll get 0. And that means A equals B. So we don't need 3 if statements here to return -1, +1, or 0. Okay? We simply subtract these values. Now, this sort method returns values sorted in an ascending order. But what we want here is descending order. So we need to call the reverse method to change the order of these movies. And finally, to pick only their title, we want to use the map method. So map, we get a movie object to pass an arrow function. So m goes to m.title. That's the code you should have written. So let's store the result in a constant called titles, and finally display them on the console. So we get B and A.